Human beings are born, live, and die. On Earth, no other newborn creature requires as much care and protection as a human baby. Every person is born into a conflict created by the opposing forces of dependency and freedom, or submission and self-determination. This is because birth represents a transition from a state of complete dependency and effortlessness to becoming a separate entity responsible for one's own actions. The effort a person makes in accordance with their own responsibilities is the essence of life. Human life generally passes through 4 stages. Childhood period. This period lasts until adolescence. In the early years after birth, children generally do not face significant problems. A developed conscious ego is required to be aware of problems. At this stage, although children are conscious, their perceptions are not fully developed, and their conscious memories are generally temporary. Therefore, they live under the influence of their instincts and show great dependency on their parents. They mostly adopt the emotional environment of their parents. Their behaviors are irregular, and control mechanisms are underdeveloped. Some order, such as hunger and toilet needs at specific times, is provided by instincts, while other aspects are largely shaped by parents. Over time, especially as memory processes extend, the ego becomes complex, and a sense of identity begins to develop in the child. The child starts to express themselves as I. Adolescence and young adulthood period. This period sees not only physical changes that begin with puberty, but also deep psychological changes. Filled with challenges for both youngsters and their parents, individuals must make many important decisions and find ways to adapt to social life. This process marks the end of childhood dreams and the beginning of efforts to cope with the challenges of real life. Young people who enter this period well prepared can transition from childhood games to adult responsibilities more comfortably. However, for those who try to continue their childhood dreams and struggle to accept reality, this period brings significant challenges. During young adulthood, besides external issues like career and partner choice, internal problems such as the inability to completely disconnect from childhood can also arise. This stems from a tendency deep within our being to prefer remaining a child over growing up. For example, many young influencers on social media platforms quickly gain fame and a large following during their youth. This plays a significant role in their career choices and social adaptation processes. However, while some may feel overwhelmed by the responsibilities of adult life at such an early age, others manage a smoother transition by turning hobbies they started in childhood into professional careers. For instance, a young individual who successfully starts a YouTube channel and continues to produce content can share the challenges and successes experienced on this platform with their followers, demonstrating both personal and professional growth. This helps young adults overcome both internal and external challenges they face. Middle age period. This period typically begins between the ages of 35 to 40. By this age, individuals have integrated into society, established a career, married, and had children. Aside from minor daily obstacles and disappointments, major problems are not expected. Yet middle age presents its own unique challenges. The second half of life may require adapting to new values not prepared for in advance. During this period, spiritual values previously overlooked in the youthful years begin to play a more prominent role in one's life. Redirecting spiritual energy to new areas is one of the most challenging parts of this life phase, and many people may not successfully navigate this transition. Most researchers focus their studies on infancy, childhood, adolescence, and old age, often overlooking the difficulties of middle age. Many middle-aged individuals, despite being recognized for their professional success and respected status in society, and possessing high intelligence and creative talents, may feel depressed. This is linked to a decrease in the pleasure derived from life and a sense of emptiness and meaninglessness in their lives. This situation is triggered by feeling a void in their lives once their goals have been achieved. This void is not easily filled. The middle age period is a crucial time for moving beyond materialistic goals to explore spiritual and cultural dimensions. a period for personal discovery and realizing one's inner depths. For example, consider a senior executive who has focused on his career for many years and achieved significant success. However, once he reached the peak of his career, he began to experience an unprecedented sense of dissatisfaction and emptiness. He realized that the formal successes of his work life did not bring him the happiness he expected, prompting him to reevaluate his life. He turned to activities such as yoga, meditation, and therapy that support inner peace and spiritual growth. These new activities added new meanings to his life and helped him overcome his midlife crisis. This example shows that it is possible to tackle the challenges of middle age and give a new direction to life. However, very few people realize that some of the things they have been concerned with until that day actually do not interest them, and they start searching for options that suit them. Old age. Period. Old age in some ways resembles childhood. The individual turns more towards the unconscious and awaits the end of life without thinking about the future. However, old age is not the inactive and monotonous period many people think it is. This period is filled with the strength and wisdom that comes from having survived life's challenges. Elderly individuals who maintain their curiosity and sense of wonder are truly dynamic beings. While experiencing the difficulties of loneliness and losing their social roles, they also seek ways to immortalize themselves. Therefore, the relationship of the elderly with time also encompasses the period after death. Estate planning, efforts to increase support for the younger generation, and charitable endeavors are usually driven by a desire to leave a mark behind. For example, John, a 72-year-old retired university professor, lives in Florida. Despite his retirement, John continues to lead an active life. He continues his scientific studies and research on a part-time basis and teaches at a local community college. This allows him to pass on his knowledge and experience to the younger generations. John also leads awareness campaigns on environmental sustainability and conducts volunteer projects in this field. During this period of his life, John has made a significant donation to a local foundation and started a scholarship program bearing his name. This program aims to support students interested in science and environmental studies. John's efforts show that old age does not have to be a passive period, contrary to the general belief. He demonstrates that an effective and active life can be maintained. This example highlights that elderly individuals can continue to contribute to social life and that old age can be a dynamic phase. In conclusion, each life stage, such as childhood, adolescence, adulthood, and old age, has its own level of maturity. What is important here is having experienced the unique satisfaction of each phase of the life cycle.